this next episode. Today we're putting on our investigative reporter hats to look at a genuinely shocking case of mishandled evidence in Colorado's Prison Valley. We are looking directly at the people who have been sworn in to uphold the law beyond the prison walls. And get this, the craziest part of all of this, a decade-old murder mystery was blown completely wide open by a simple storage unit auction that cost a whole $50. Seriously. It wasn't cracked by some high-tech forensic lab or a brilliant interrogation room confession. It was cracked because a veteran detective simply fell behind on his rent. So, here is our agenda. We're going to cover the $50 murder mystery, the storage unit facts, and the landfill dumpster. We'll separate fact from speculation, question the official fallout, and finally look at the unanswered questions. Let's get into it. Okay, so this entire scandal starts with a really devastating catalyst, which is the 2006 murder of Candace Hiltz. She was only 17 years old, and the details here are absolutely tragic. Candace was shot 7 times with 3 different guns right in her home in the Copper Gulch area, And for 10 solid years, her grieving mother, Dolores, spent her life screaming from the rooftops that the investigation was botched. She insisted detectives left crucial evidence behind at the scene. But you know her claims were mostly shrugged off by officials. Well, at least until she was suddenly and shockingly vindicated in 2016. Now, to objectively navigate this scandal without getting completely lost in the weeds, we're using a really strict methodology. We are going to separate documented facts, so things verified by official record or direct witness statements, from speculation, which is just simply uncorroborated rumors. All right, so in December of 2016, a guy named Rick Ratzliff purchased a unit at Dawson Ranch Storage just terrible with directions, just west of Canyon City for about $50. But here's the kicker. The previous owner of that unit was Fremont County Sheriff's Detective Lieutenant Robert Dodd. Dodd had fallen behind on his rent, and according to reporters, he allegedly paid the facility owner with a bad check. And that's exactly what prompted the auction. And when Ratzliff found the inside of the locker, he discovered something of nightmares. He didn't find old couches or dusty boxes of books. He found a bloody rope, a hatchet, blood-soaked women's socks, a blanket, and official police paperwork just stuffed into envelopes marked evidence. Oh, and there were also police uniforms bearing Detective Dodd's name. This wasn't junk. This was actual bloody physical evidence directly tied to the unsolved Candace Hiltz murder, just sitting in some private storage locker. To really anchor this in reality, we have to show you just how trusted Detective Dodd was within the department. Consider this official incident report. This is actually from an entirely different, highly public 2015 case involving Virginia Giuffre, who, if you recall, was a key figure in the international Jeffrey Epstein scandal. This document proves Dodd was deeply embedded in handling major, highly sensitive investigations for the county. He definitely wasn't some rookie making a rookie mistake. He was a senior detective. Now, Dodd later tried to claim that he only found out about the auction a mere 2 days before he altered his police reports to cover his tracks. But if we look at the timeline of Colorado's self-storage laws, that excuse completely falls apart. By law, a facility absolutely cannot just sell your things. There has to be 30 days of continuous default, a formal written notice, a 15-day demand period, and 2 consecutive weeks of newspaper advertising. So this timeline provides Dodd weeks, if not months, of legal warnings before that evidence was auctioned off. Now, as if the store auction a mere 2 days before he altered his police reports to cover his tracks. But if we look at the timeline of Colorado's self-storage laws, that excuse completely falls apart. By law, a facility absolutely cannot just sell your things. There has to be 30 days of continuous default, a formal written notice, a 15-day demand period, and 2 consecutive weeks of newspaper advertising. So this timeline provides Dodd weeks, if not months, of legal warnings before that evidence was auctioned off. Now, as if the storage unit wasn't bad enough, wait until you see how this builds into a terrifying pattern. These are the documented facts from our second location, a landfill. A worker named Robert Orton was doing a routine hazmat check on a dumpster. Now, this dumpster had been ordered by Dodd's wife because they were moving. Orton looked inside and found a fat envelope packed with criminal paperwork, a computer, a Fremont County Sheriff's Office forensic light tackle box, and honestly, this is the most disturbing part, multiple videotapes of sexual assault victims' interviews. The tapes literally had these victims' real names written on them. When we put these two sites side by side, we start to see a staggering, undeniable pattern of institutional failure. In this storage unit, we have vital homicide evidence. Over in the landfill, we have highly sensitive sexual assault investigations and actual crime scene equipment. These are completely unrelated criminal investigations, but both were severely mishandled by the exact same detective. When looking at those landfill tapes, a quote started circulating in the media claiming that the discarded evidence involved 20 young girls, some under 18. Now, we have to strictly categorize this as speculation. This claim was made solely by the Hiltz family during an interview. There is no documentation from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to support that exact number or age range. The district attorney's office investigated the items. The tapes absolutely had real victims' names on them, and shockingly, no charges were ever filed regarding this specific landfill evidence. Returning to this complete 2015 incident report for a moment, it really serves as a stark reminder of the immense power and trusted granted to the Fremont County Sheriff's Office. They have jurisdiction over this massive, incredibly complex area. This document represents a fundamental social contract between citizens and law enforcement. And that is a trust that was entirely broken when evidence of the worst possible crimes was just tossed into private storage units and county dumpsters. So, what actually happened to Detective Dodd? Well, a jury did eventually convict him of mishandling the storage unit evidence. He was found guilty of a misdemeanor and 2 petty offenses. A judge sentenced him to 180 days in jail. But as the record shows, the judge immediately suspended 165 of those days. That means Robert Dodd served just 15 days in jail. 15 days. District Attorney Caitlin Turner summed this up perfectly. She noted, the original judge gave him a 91% reduction right off the bat, down to 15 days when the minimum was 180. And to add insult to injury, his financial penalty amounted to a mere $1,000 in fines. That's it. End quote. So, we are left with this devastating aftermath. A veteran detective basically walks free after what amounts to a 2-week vacation in county jail, pays a minor fine, and comfortably retires out of state to Texas. Meanwhile, Candace Hiltz's 2006 murder remains completely unsolved. It's hopelessly compromised by the fact that the bloody physical evidence was just left rotting in a private locker. And on top of that, we still have absolutely no answers and 0 charges filed regarding the highly sensitive sexual assault evidence thrown into a literal landfill. The true tragedy here isn't just about mishandled physical items like a rope or an axe. It is the systematic silence that allows these massive failures to be buried in the first place. It's the horrific realization that justice doesn't always fail with some loud, dramatic bang. Sometimes it fails quietly, shoved into filing cabinets marked inactive, tossed in storage lockers, bought for $50, and thrown into county landfills. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought, and it's something I really want you to consider. When the very people sworn to protect the evidence are the ones throwing it away in dumpsters, how can a community ever trust its own justice system again? How can the corrections capital of the world possibly correct its own deep institutional failures? Thank you so much for joining me. Keep asking the hard questions, and I'll see you in the next one.